Hi, I'm Dr. David Magnano. I'm a licensed chiropractor in the state of Florida and New York. I practice right in Clearwater on Gulf to Bay, and I'm here to talk to you about how to be healthy. And what I have found talking to companies and groups and friends and family and patients is that about 75% of our community does not know the real basic fundamentals on how to be healthy, how to have lots of energy, how to fight off disease. And so that's what I'm here to talk to you about. Now, there's three key components. Most everybody knows about eating well, eating food that is nutritious, that can feed your body the nutrients that it's needed. Most people know about exercise. They should do some exercise. It could be as simple as walking, some activity to move the body and the joints and get some physical exercise. And that could go from a very light exercise all the way up to a very intense training. But there's a fundamental thing that most people don't know. We talk about it in our office as the triangle of health. And basically, if you work any corner of the triangle, you can improve your overall health and wellness. I want to first share with you how your body works. This is important to know as I bring this together and how you can be healthier and have more energy and a better overall quality of life. What you'll see here is a side view of the body. You'll see some of the organs, the lungs, heart, liver, stomach, intestines. You'll also see the muscular skeletal system. You don't see any muscles here, but you can see these gray areas. Those are all the bones. And, those all sort of support the body, and we know how that works. Again, what most people don't know, this is what I'm finding as I'm talking to people, is they don't realize that there's a system in the body that's responsible for controlling and coordinating every function in the body. And that is the brain and the nervous system. Whether your heart beats fast or slow, it's actually controlled by an area in your brain, sends an impulse down the spinal cord, the nerve root comes out between the spinal bones and travels to the heart, telling that organ how to respond in its environment. Obviously, if you're sleeping, the heart should be beating slower. If you're out exercising, the heart should be beating faster. The heart is purely a muscle that will do its job based on what it's told to do. And the thing that tells it what to do is the brain and the nervous system. Now, how does the brain talk to any of your organs? But we're talking about the heart here. Basically, an electrical and chemical impulse comes down through the spinal cord, out through the nerve roots. The nerve roots come out in between the spinal bones, and it carries the information as to what the heart should do in its environment. The same thing happens with the stomach and digestion, or in the intestines, or in the area of the lungs and breathing. Same thing happens with the sinuses. So let me ask you, the same thing happens with the immune system. Your immune system consists of 13 glands that need to work together. I mean, we are breathing germs in every day, and the reason we're not sick every day is because your immune system actually fights that off. What controls those 13 glands? It's the brain and the nervous system. So the most important system in the body is the brain and the nervous system. And I think you would agree with me that, everybody has an incredible ability to heal. We've all heard these miracle success stories. That's fantastic. But it could go down to the very simple and basic. If somebody gets a cut on their arm, they keep it dry and clean, they don't see a doctor, that cut will go through a healing process. Your body has the ability, an incredible ability, to heal and recover. So if we're looking at the nervous system as sort of the most important, the key system within the body, how do we run into trouble with the nervous system? Well, there's a number of ways, but the most common way that I've seen in my over 28 years in practice is the spinal bones stack one on top of the next. I have a model of a spine here. You may or may not be able to see this, but you can see there's two bones separated by a disc, which is a pad. It's like a cartilaginous pad, and that separates the two bones. But the most important part of it is there's a nerve root that comes out between the two spinal bones. This nerve root carries vital information to tell that organ how to work. So if there is a spinal bone that has started to shift out of place, in chiropractic we call that a subluxation. It's a fancy word that means the bone has shifted out of place enough to irritate the nerve. And once the nerve is irritated, this nerve starts to shut down. It doesn't carry the proper information to whatever organ or tissue in the body that it's supposed to carry that information to. Most people think all the nerves in the body carry pain impulses and they're sensory. That's really only about 10% of the nerves in the body. Most of the nerves in the body just carry information to the organs, glands, cells, and blood vessels of the body. So the nervous system is actually controlling and coordinating every step in your body. How your body works, how your eyes blink, how your heart beats, how your immune system fights things off, how you digest your food, of course how the muscles and joints move. So what happens is a spinal bone can become shifted out of position. That can put pressure on the nerve. That nerve actually starts to degenerate and die. And what do you think happens to the organ that's connected to it? That's correct. It also starts to go downhill and degenerate and die. And that creates an environment for that organ to become sick and diseased. Now you don't always get a symptom day one. Many cases you do not, because the body has a great resiliency. But as that organ continues to go downhill, it becomes sicker and more diseased, less able to fight off disease, infection, anything like that. That organ will then have an environment to become sick, and as the organ becomes sick and as that area becomes diseased, you will start to get some symptoms. So what we do in our office, knowing that the nervous system is by far the most important system in the body, we do a specialized nerve test where we run it up the spine and we can tell how well the nerves are working to the different organs, glands, cells, and tissues of the body. And by knowing that, even if somebody does not have a disease or a symptom, we can see how those areas are getting the proper information from the nervous system. I want to show you something. If we take and put pressure on the nerve traveling to this area here, you see that this area, that's right at the base of the neck, here, that controls the heart and lungs. Even if somebody is eating well, they're taking lots of vitamins, they're exercising 3, 4, 5 times a week, if we have pressure on the nerves traveling to the heart or to the heart and lungs, we know that those areas are not going to work correctly. They're not going to heal as they should, and that creates an environment for disease to set in. Even if somebody's doing good nutrition, they're taking vitamins, they may be exercising a lot. So the key thing is to make sure that the nervous system is functioning as it should. So what we do in our office is we do a specialized nerve test. It takes about 10 to 12 minutes. The visit from start to finish is about 30 minutes. We run a scan, and immediately on the computer we can see which nerves are traveling to the organs and tissues and glands and cells of the body, and which nerves may not be working correctly. Once we know that, we can put a plan of action in to try to correct that and fix it. We do this nerve test as a community service in our office, as sort of an educational tool. If you want to call our office, we can schedule that for you. And like I say, within 30 minutes you get a full report of how your nervous system is working. Once again, my name is Dr. David Magnano. I'm a chiropractor in Clearwater, Florida. Thanks for listening.